Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional. He is Tim Stearns, CFP, president and founder of TJ Stearns, Inc., your resource, ladies and gentlemen. Proactive planners, investors, savers turn to Tim Stearns, CFP, and TJ Stearns for a common sense approach to planning and for the intricate plan design, identifying opportunities, strategies, and risks in your financial planning. And Tim, we always appreciate it. No lack of that today as we are following what is not new news, but news that is continuing to develop from the Social Security Administration Board of Trustees, saying that yes, Social Security is yet another year closer to being insolvent and not having any trust fund to pay full benefits. What do you make of this?
Well, Peter, it's interesting. We've heard about this coming down the pipeline. It's always been 2034, and now they're saying it's 2033, which is concerning. Yet I've seen a couple experts speak when I do my continuing education, and a couple of them have said all they need to do are a couple tweaks to it would fix it. But you and I have talked about this. Here's my issue with this whole thing is that they just passed a huge omnibus laws, right, that came into effect and passed all these resolutions and whatnot. And, we've talked about they had 2,500 pages in this booklet of all these things that they're going to do. Not one of them addressed Medicare or Social Security, and shame on all the politicians for that. So I think that they keep kicking the can down the road because they feel like it's down the road that they need to worry about it, right? It's not till 2033 now. Until people really get on their soapboxes and start complaining, I don't see it being fixed real soon. I see a couple issues that they could do. When my father retired in 1989, the full retirement age was 65 years old. Then it went to 66. Then it went to 67. My point being is I can obviously see it moving to down the road for that, where they say, hey, you know what, to my children, you got to work till you're 68, 69 years old. This is another reason that they're doing the Secure Acts where you don't have to take money out till you're 73 years old, because they want us to work longer, right? They want us to, a lot of us don't have pensions. And again, comes back all full circle to what? You have to have a plan, right? So an income allocation plan for baby boomers is essential right now, because as many government officials have said, you can't guarantee that we're going to have those benefits. Right. So what is your backup plan?
Yep. A real wake-up call here, Tim. We've hit the snooze alarm 10 times, and now we're almost late in getting to this one, right? Is yep. That we really need to face the truth here, to wake up, splash some cold water on our face and say, hey, the Social Security Administration Trust Fund is running dry. We're going to have some problems, but really emphasizing the fact that the responsibility for retirement is squarely on our own shoulders. And that's why I think that your program's so valuable, reminding proactive Chicagoland area savers and investors of this fact, and giving those that have taken their financial future seriously the opportunity to get that Protect and Grow plan put together. And Tim, this really is a great opportunity for proactive planners. The Protect and Grow plan addresses risks, issues, opportunities, helps you to understand the risks that your investment portfolio is exposed to, ladies and gentlemen, the cost of your investments and the investment management and the advice that you're receiving, the taxes that you may be liable for into the future, quantifying that, identifying strategies to control and minimize it, showing you the correct order of operations of how to structure the retirement income to support your lifestyle and standard of living. That is the Protect and Grow plan, put together with the help and assistance of a certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP. No cost, no obligation. If you have saved at least $750,000, this offer is for you. Give a call now and request your Protect and Grow plan. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. And Tim, in order to make up this difference that Social Security is lacking here, we have tools available to us, the most common of which is the 401k or the employer-sponsored plan. And in order to make the most of it, there are many things that we need to know about it. And so talking about how to make the most of it and what we really need to know to watch out for and avoid with our 401ks is going to help us to bridge that gap and go a long way in a more secure retirement.
All right, let's talk about that. One of the things that we advocate for is for people to put their money in their 401ks, right? Up to the amount that they're deferring, that they're getting matched on. Okay. Because taking the tax break right now in a 401k is great and all, but the income taxes are the lowest they've been since 1920s. So maybe looking at a Roth 401k is a great idea, but also making sure that you put in as much as you can there until you get to the point where you're getting your match. After that, I would look at other vehicles. There's a lot of nice vehicles out there. For example, life insurance policies that the government hasn't figured out a way how to tax us on it when we take money out of there. My wife and I have that. It also addresses long-term care in that facet. So we've been brainwashed by, society or whatever you want to call it, even our parents, saying, oh, you got to stuff it full of your deferrals, right? Putting money into your 401k because you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Well, I'll tell you what, every time I ask my classes, I've taught classes last week in Florida, I'm teaching classes in St. Louis, Phoenix, and then of course, Chicagoland. I ask everyone, do you guys think taxes are going up when this current tax bill sunsets at the end of 2025? They all give me a thumbs up. When I say sunset, it means it expires, meaning we'll go back to at least what taxes used to be. They might get rid of the exemptions that we have. So people won't be doing, we'll actually go back to the old days where we're actually trying to do write-offs, right? Because most of us don't write off enough to matter. So we take the exemptions. So we have 3 years here to be doing Roth conversions, to maybe be doing Roth 401ks. Now, in 3 years, maybe that changes, where I'm going to tell people, you know what? Yeah, put money in a 401k, a normal one, so you get the deferral because taxes are back to where they used to be. But I will tell you, the one way you can fix all this is come to our class, or at least Zoom it, so that we can actually help you get your brain around what is going on in society and with the legislation out there in Washington, D.C.
Well, Tim, at the same time, we are dealing with the reality of the Social Security Administration shortfall. We've got to make up for that somewhere. And so we would think that it is in these retirement account investment opportunities, such as 401ks. But a recent report from Fidelity stated that while there are 299,000 401k millionaire accounts at Fidelity alone, and another 280,000 IRA millionaire accounts at Fidelity alone. That number is about 1/3 lower than it was last year. So on one side, we've got the eventual problem of the potential Social Security shortfall. On the other side, we've got over 1/3 of those who had achieved the prestigious status of 401k millionaire losing that status because of a market downturn.
Yes, and that's another thing to be cognizant of. I feel like a lot of people thought they were Warren Buffett or even Gordon Gekko, if we want to go back to Wall Street, the movie. Oh, I can't buy anything that's going to lose. Well, 2022 was a pretty interesting year because, it was the worst year ever for the 60-40 split. 60% in stocks, 40% in bonds. And most people that I'm seeing baby boomer wise have actually a lot more money in stocks than they should. When you're accumulating, that's great. Take your chances. When you're younger, I'm fine with that. But I ask people in class, besides the tax question, whether I think taxes are going to go up, I also ask them, what do you think the market's going to do this year? And everyone gives me it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be so-so. So wouldn't you want to make sure that you are positioned properly? Because so-so means to me 10 to maybe 20% losing of your value. If you're towards the end of the road of your career, you want to retain what you've made. You need to have stop losses. You need to have uncorrelated assets. These are all the things we harp on in class. Just explain to people that you're not 40 anymore. You're getting ready to retire. You need to change it up. The way to decumulate is completely different than accumulation. So how does that look? Make sure you get another set of eyes to help you look at what that can be.
And the tool, Tim, that we have available for accumulation through the 401k, that is a tool that is built to help us while we have the paycheck, while we have the security of income provided by employment, to accumulate money for retirement, but probably not the best tool for the preservation and the actual retirement phase where we are relying on those dollars to create an income. That's why we need to have a completely different style plan, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the Protect and Grow plan is truly all about, that fundamental transition, and then a strategic plan to have security and stability in our income producing ability into and throughout retirement. If you'd like to put together that Protect and Grow plan, again, if you have at least $750,000 or more saved for your retirement, pick up the phone, the first 10 callers, no cost, no obligation, to sit and review the plan with the team from TJ Stearns Inc. and Tim Stearns CFP to put that plan together. 800-640-2256. That is 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, why does the allocation of our 401k need to change and evolve over time?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is we can't lose money in retirement. You are a net seller of assets. Whatever I have on the last day on my job, I work for Johnson & Johnson, let's say, and I have $1 million. Whatever I have in there, the only growth I'm ever going to have again is if the market goes up, which is great. But I'm also going to be using that money to live on. So more than likely, 90% of us at least will be net sellers of assets. We only have so much, right? And we're going to need to use that money to help pay for our utilities. Maybe we go on that trip that we've always wanted to do. All the different things that come up in life, so you need to be cognizant of the fact that you're going to need, to invest what you have more cautiously. I'm not talking about burying it in the backyard. I'm not talking about putting all of your money into an annuity. I'm talking about having a plan that has uncorrelated assets so that you're not sitting there holding the bag where, what if 2008 happens again? The average of the S&P 500, the strongest portfolio index in the world, was down 36%. If I'm down $360,000 in my $1 million example, what am I going to do? And how do I get it back? Is there going to be another 13-year bull market? I don't think so.
Yep. And Tim, we have seen a rough year in the year past in 2022. Absolutely. But we're hearing a lot of murmurs and talk amongst those in the know and the talking heads saying, hey, we are in for even further difficulty. What if we did see another market decline as significant or even on the scope of last year? What would that mean for a lot of people's retirement prospects and outlook?
I think it's a dim outlook. You're looking at the fact that whatever I have is what I have. And I mean, I know that baby boomers, as they get ready to retire, and once they're starting to be in retirement, man, oh man, do I get a lot of phone calls from people who've been in class saying, I'm getting ready to retire in 4 years. And I'm just worried. Do I have enough? 1 out of 10 Americans have a written income plan. 1 out of 10. And I guarantee 9 out of 10 of the people that are listening to our radio show right now don't have it, right? Or they have an idea. One of the jokes or the analogies I use with people is I'll say, hey, Joe, you're in my class. I got a question for you. I'm going to come and I'm going to be a contractor at your house and I'm going to redo your kitchen. And, and they go, okay. And I say, what would you want from me? And they're like, well, we want, some references, costs, and of course, the most important thing, blueprints. What are you going to do? And I say, Joe, I'm not going to give you any of that. I'm just going to wing it. Would you sign up with me? And everyone laughs in the class and says, no way, right? Because that's what people are doing. They're winging it. And we talk about this on this show all the time, working in the know. KNOW, the knowledge that I have enough money to make a go of it. And then more importantly, if God forbid something happens to me, does my spouse?
Again, we are talking with Tim Stearns, CFP certified financial planning professional, Chicago Lands resource. If you've got questions or concerns, if you would like that protect and grow plan, pick up the phone, give TJ Stearns Inc. a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. You can also visit online, tjstearns.com. That's Stearns like Earns, EARNS, tjstearns.com, and office conveniently located in Arlington Heights. You can come in for an in-person review to put together and structure that protect and grow plan, but he does offer classes across the Chicagoland area, as well as across the nation, ladies and gentlemen. But right here in Chicagoland, your resource, virtual appointments and reviews, a couple quick questions over the phone, however you would like to get in touch. But the first 10 callers to today's program with at least $750,000 saved for your retirement, your financial future. If you are serious about addressing the risk that your investments are exposed to, the taxes that you may be liable for, reducing both of those as much as possible, and maximizing the income that your assets can produce for you in retirement. That is the protect and grow planning concept. Many details will go into that. Tim Stearns does extend that to the first 10 callers with at least $750,000, no cost, no obligation if you call now. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. I think one of the problems with that education, Tim, we receive very little of it. There's very little advice or guidance when it comes to our 401k on the job site. And you're there for those that want to seek that guidance and have that education about those accounts outside of what is provided at work, correct?
It's funny you bring that up. The other day at class, we were talking about that. I'll ask, last year was a rough year in the stock market. Did anyone from HR, come to your cubicle and say, hey, you doing all right? I looked at your portfolio and you maybe should make some changes. They all laugh, right? Because that's never going to happen, right? Number one, 20 years ago, maybe people were lazy. They didn't want to do it. Now they don't want the liability. So then I asked later on in class, did anyone from your 401k provider call you? And let's name some names: Vanguard, Fidelity, name any names you want. And they all laughed. No, I never heard from them, right? So whose shoulders does it rest on? Ours. And if I'm a doctor or a lawyer, or I'm, working in sales at a Fortune 500 company, finance is not my thing. My thing is to do what I do well at, right? So all these people who thought they were doing great, and then the skids hit with the brakes of 2022, we realize we might not know as much as we think. So what I'm telling people is, let us take a look at your portfolio, see what kind of risks you have out there, and make sure that you're positioned properly. These target date funds are not a silver bullet. They lost last year.
Yeah.
And so I ask people, what are you doing with your money to make it better so that you're ready for the current situation that we're in?
Yeah. And if we started that 401k 10, 15, 20 years ago, and at that time our allocation was correct, if we've been asleep at the wheel and not realigning, then today our allocation is significantly off course, not only because we are now 10 or 15, 20 years later, but because of the growth on the equity side has pushed us to more and more risk. And that's why a lot of people saw pretty significant losses in their 401ks across 2022. I'm glad you bring up the target date funds, Tim, because those are supposedly like the autopilot within the autopilot. The 401k is done automatically and systematically, and it's out of sight, out of mind. And then the popularity of these life cycle funds, or these target date funds that are supposed to put the allocation further on autopilot, has been immense and growing over the last 10 years. It's basically one of the main options in almost every 401k. What do you make of these target date funds? Do they do in reality what they are supposed to do in theory?
Not really. I mean, they were down last year, right? Even the 2025 funds out there were down, so I get that what people are trying to do is take less risk, thank God. But at the end of the day, they are not a silver bullet. They're going to take their bumps and bruises. And that's one of the reasons that the Department of Labor allows that 59.5 in-service distribution. It's not a hardship. It's just basically saying, hey, you should have an opportunity to move your money into something of your choosing. What I do with my siblings that are over the age of 59 and a half is we move them into IRAs that have stop losses. Last year wasn't that bad of a year for them, right? Because they lost a heck of a lot less if they had stayed in their own 401ks. And I advocate that for anyone who's listening to us, at least go and get your money and be the driver of your retirement.
Again, we are talking with Tim Stearns, Chicagoland certified financial planning professional. Tim Stearns, CFP, does offer to put together for you the proprietary Protect and Grow plan available there at TJ Stearns Inc. If you've got $750,000 or more saved for your retirement, this is an opportunity to get that all together, to bring all the pieces of the puzzle, to see the retirement picture, put the blueprint and the plan together to achieve your retirement goals. Understanding, identifying, and reducing risk. Understanding, identifying, and reducing the tax liability that you may have, and maximizing and optimizing retirement income from all of the various sources that you have. That is the goal there of the Protect and Grow plan. If you are the first 10 callers to today's program, no cost, no obligation, just your chance to get that plan put together or to double check and review your current plan. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, I am glad that you mentioned that in-service distribution, because we did absolutely want to talk about some of the best opportunities that we have with our 401ks on today's program. We talked about the opportunity for Roth contributions. We talked about the matching. These are all fantastic opportunities, but maybe one of the best is this in-service distribution, and it might be the least well-known.
I find that most people in class have no idea about it. Or I meet people from the show that don't know about it, and they're like, tell me more. So basically, this is how it works. While you're working for a company and you're over the age of 59 and a half, you are allowed to take out the money that is vested by you, and that includes the deferral and the profit sharing that they've given you in most cases, and you're able to move it over into an IRA of your choosing. All right. Your deferral, what you've been putting in over the years, will stay the same. The match that you get from your company will stay the same. It's not like they shut it off. They shut off the spigot and you don't have money going in there anymore. That is not the case. And then, and it's much like a HIPAA, the Health Insurance Privacy Act. No one's going to come up to you and go, hey, Bob, I saw that you moved your money out. Are you thinking of leaving us? This is between you and the provider of your 401k. No one else's business. But this is a great way to take control of your retirement. The last thing you want to do is not know about this and lose 36% like people did on average in 2008. Do I think that's going to happen again? I hope not. But if it does, it's going to turn a lot of people into very worried baby boomers that can't retire. And they're going to want to have to work. They're going to have to work and not want to, but have to.
Well, let's say we are one of the prestigious status of those 401k millionaires, Tim. If we've got that $1 million in the 401k and we see another market downturn of 20, 30%, that's years of work. That's years of progress that we're going to have to make up because the market took a turn in the wrong direction. However, if we take that in-service distribution, maybe we're contributing $25,000, $30,000 a year, maxing out, doing the catch-up, new dollars into the 401k. If that takes that kind of hit, it's not nearly as a significant impact on our retirement outlook and the lifestyle that our life savings can afford us.
What we're finding is that most companies are allowing people to take out down to the penny. Even if the market's down, they'll allow 100% of what is theirs and what's vested to move out of the portfolio. And you could do this multiple times. I have one brother that I do it about every quarter. Anytime he hits a certain threshold, we move the money over to an IRA that has stop losses, that's positioned better than what he currently would have at his lineup at work.
Well, again, you have to know and understand your options, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big opportunity for a wider choice of range of options for your retirement dollars. And that is the threshold, the milestone, the benchmark of 59 and a half. I think it's widely known that that is the age where you can access retirement dollars without the additional 10% penalty. But Tim, what might not be as widely known as it should, and what is truly one of the best opportunities, is that if we are looking at the 401k and what it can do to help support our retirement, we don't want a large portion of it lost right in the home stretch. At 59.5, we can take that in-service distribution. We can take control of those 401k dollars, roll them to IRA dollars. This is a non-taxable event. We can continue contributing. We can continue capturing the match. We can continue working. Nothing will change there, but we have now taken steps to preserve that large amount of retirement nest egg. And that is something that Tim Stearns helps people identify and then talks about whether or not that's an opportunity to take better control over your financial outcome. Risks are any variable that is outside of our control that can impact our financial future. There are many of them out there. We need to understand what they are, identify them. That's what the Protect and Grow planning process is all about. So again, if you have at least $750,000 or more saved for your retirement, and you're one of the first 10 callers to today's program, Tim Stearns, CFP, offers to put together for you and with you that Protect and Grow plan, minimizing market risk, minimizing taxes, maximizing retirement income. Those are the goals. If you'd like to take advantage, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, we've talked a lot about the market risk involved with the 401ks, but the taxes, the potential impacts of inflation, these are all things that need to be factored in. And by the way, 401k, kind of a generic name, there are many other types of plans that are available to us to save for retirement, provided by employers and on the job site, correct?
There's many different ones, 403Bs, 457s. We are able to help people who are over 59.5 to move their money, if it's vested. That being said, though, if they are in different portfolios that might not be performing, we can also look at what their current lineup is and help them. I mean, this is what it's all about. Our classes are about spreading the word of retirement and how to do it properly. So that is a big thing for us, is that we're trying to help people do that. So even if they're under 59.5, if they have over $750,000, I'll be happy to look at their portfolio and kind of get a handle on where they're at and what they could be doing better. I know a lot of people got beat up last year, so we're willing to help.
If you are looking for that guidance, ladies and gentlemen, if you are maybe risk adverse, do not want to see large losses in your portfolio and your investments and your retirement accounts, if you are concerned about the potential future of taxes and the tax liability that you'll have on those retirement dollars, if you've got at least $750,000 or more saved, Tim Stearns, CFP, does make the offer to help you to put together the Protect and Grow plan. Pick up the phone, give a call. First 10 callers, no cost, no obligation. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Once again, online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. Office in Arlington Heights. Classes across the Chicagoland area and across the nation, offering in-person or virtual reviews to make it convenient for you as possible. And if you'd like to start with just a phone call, pick up the phone now, ask a few questions, get direct answers. Tim Stearns, Chicagoland's resource. Tim Stearns, CFP, Certified Financial Planning Professional, can be reached at 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share this important information and bring the Chicagoland area savers and investors up to speed.
I'm happy to do it, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Tune into Chicagoland's certified financial planner, Tim Stearns' full radio program, and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.